Right everyone, hope you are doing well. Thank you for pressing play once again. I am the man they call Pixel Paul, and this video is a little bit of a surprise video, I guess. A surprise for me. I wasn't expecting to do another pickups video this close to my last pickups video. I do like to space them out a little bit, but yeah, today was a little bit of a surprise, and a pleasant surprise, and so much so that I just wanted to do this video and get it out there because yeah, it was a bit of an unexpected surprise. So what am I talking about? Well, it's a Sunday, and if you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you'll know that Sundays here mean car boot sale time. And yeah, I did think about going to the car boot sale this morning. Sun was shining, perfect conditions for it. I did sort of think about going to the car boot, but do you know what? I've been a little bit hit and miss with car boots over the course of this year so far. So I didn't have a huge amount of enthusiasm, and I think I was veering towards not going. And I was just sort of scrolling through Facebook and noticed that there was an event on at Bolton Wanderers football ground, which is where the car boot sale is held, around that car park on there. So what was this event? Well, it was the Bolton Toy and Train Fair. Now, I've seen these before. They do them, I think, about 4 times a year, something like that. They have antiques fairs there as well and that sort of thing. But I've noticed that they have had these Bolton Toy and Train Fairs quite often. And I'm guessing, I think about every sort of quarter. So I saw it advertised. It was only sort of £4 to get in. And I thought, do you know what? Rather than go to the car boot sale, I'm just going to go and have a look there. I'm quite interested in toys and that sort of thing. It's all kind of retro toys and 80s kind of toys, right up my street really. And I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to give it a look. They might have some games there, you never know. Had no expectations. I just thought I'd be going, having a look around and see what it was like. And I will show you now what it was like. So good morning and welcome to Bolton again. Now, as you can see behind me is Bolton Car Boot Sale, and on a Sunday morning that's where I would normally go, and it is looking very, very busy today. I can hear the meat man shouting away, but really packed. But no, today, rather than go to the car boot sale, I thought I would actually go back in here. Now today, Bolton Wanderers, again, are holding the Bolton Toy Fair, I think it's called. No, I've never been to a toy fair before, but I thought, you know what, for a change, let's go and have a look. I only found out about it this morning. I think I saw Manic Minus Toy Stores talking about it on Facebook, so I know they're going to be there, and I've been to that shop in Warrington before. So yeah, there's a big queue, so I'm going to go and join the back of the queue and go and see what it's like. You never know, see if there's any games or anything like that in there, so unless you try, you never know. So let's go and give it a look. Bolton Toy Fair. First time I've been, and I've got to say, I quite enjoyed that. I thought it was quite good. Not loads and loads of games there, not loads, but enough. And I've come away with a big bag full. Yeah, nicely priced actually. There's quite a bit of retro stuff. And they're all sort of willing to do deals and haggle a little bit, and so that was good. Yeah, pleasantly surprised. Let's get back to the games room and I'll show you what I picked up. Cheers everyone, so that was Bolton Toy and Train Fair, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. I had a great time there. I genuinely really enjoyed just strolling around. No expectations, like I said. It was just nice to see all these toys dotted around everywhere. In comparison to like the gaming market that was held at the same place in Bolton a few months ago, well, earlier in the year, this was absolutely packed. So many sellers there. The room was absolutely full. They had to put sellers in the sort of corridor, or where the actual ground is, the football ground. So there were sellers within the sort of concourse area, if you like, as well. So it was absolutely heaving, absolutely packed, and there was very much a different kind of atmosphere to the gaming market. It was just a bit different. I don't know whether it's because the age demographic was slightly older, because I would say a good sort of 60% of the fair was trains. It was train sets and model trains and that sort of thing, which didn't interest me really. It was interesting to see in a way, but yeah, I wasn't really looking at that sort of thing. But yeah, there was just a different sort of atmosphere, different to the gaming market. Not in a bad way, not in a good way, just different, something different about it. But in terms of games, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, don't get me wrong, there was not a huge amount of games there. I think there was one seller, or one table with a seller, who was sort of like pretty much just selling games. And I did buy a few things off them. But yeah, in terms of general sort of games, there weren't too many around really. Sort of the odd box full of games, the odd sort of console here, there and everywhere. So it wasn't a massive, I wouldn't say it's a massive, a place where you are going to find games and games and games everywhere. It is very much trains, very much retro toys. And I did enjoy looking around the retro toys. And I thought maybe there might have been a few more kind of toys that I recognised. I mean, I recognised a lot of stuff. There was a lot of Star Wars stuff. But I was kind of hoping maybe to see a bit more kind of stuff like Mask and G.I. Joe. And what's the other one I would say? Maybe like Centurions or something like that. They were very much my toys from back in the day. And I've still got loads of them in the loft. And it's something possibly I might delve into on this channel at some point if people are interested in that sort of thing. I might show those collections at some point. Anyway, I digress. In terms of games, yeah, there weren't loads. You had to be eagle-eyed to spot the games. But I think today I must have had my eagle eyes on, and I think I've come away with some decent buys. So let's get on to the games that I picked up. So the games that I picked up, I know I said I had a bag full, not quite a bag full, but I did pick up 8 games. I think I spent about, it was less than £30. It might have been about 27, 28, something like that, £28 in total. The first game, and it was the first game that I picked up during the day, I've possibly, in some ways, I suppose in comparison to CEX prices, I've possibly overpaid a little bit on this one. But it's one I've been after for a while. And that game is Enemy Front on the PlayStation 3. Now I've been after this because SNEStastic, who has a fantastic YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to his channel because it's absolutely awesome. He's mentioned this game in one of his, or a couple of his videos over the last few months, and he really enjoyed it. I'd never played it before, but because it got his seal of approval, I've been looking out for this, and I've seen it a lot on the Xbox 360, but for some reason I wanted to pick it up on the PlayStation 3. So I think the PlayStation 3 version of this is £6, so I did pay £10 for that. So I have paid a little bit more, but the bonus with this one is, and I don't know if it'll show, but it is still sealed. You can just see the security seal there, and it is an official PlayStation seal as well. It's still sealed, so it's absolutely brand new, never been played, never been touched. So for £10, I think for a brand new copy of that, I'm really happy with that, and I can't wait to play it. It's a bit of a World War shooter, And I think the difference with this game is that you can play it in a variety of ways. So you can play it from like distance, as you know, being a sniper, or you can play it, you know, like any other sort of first-person shooter. So it does sound really interesting, and I am looking forward to playing this. Features advanced sniping technology powered by CryEngine. So yeah, if it's good enough for SNEStastic, it's good enough for me. I'm looking forward to playing this one. I will be opening it. I will not be leaving it sealed, but the fact that it's brand new is pretty cool, I think. And £10 paid for it. Limited edition as well. It includes multiplayer stuff. But yeah, looking forward to playing that one. So that was the first pickup of the day, and like I said, probably in some ways I've overpaid for it, but it is a brand new copy, so more than happy to have paid the extra £4 on that. The next one I picked up was this, and again, this is in absolutely immaculate condition. Batman Arkham Knight on the Xbox One Special Edition, and it is a steelbook. And you know I love a steelbook. I'll tell you what, I absolutely love this steelbook. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's such a great steelbook. I paid £5 for that. I think the bog standard version goes for £4 at the moment. So an extra £1 on that for a copy of it in such good condition as well. The condition of this is absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, the outer sleeve is perfect, not a crack, not a split on it, not even finger marks all over it either. So that is in really nice condition. And then the steelbook itself is absolutely amazing. I love that. I think it just looks so smart. There's the back end of the Batmobile, great looking spine as well. Let's open it up. So that's the full steelbook artwork. Absolutely gorgeous. I think I did see this in a cash generator about a month or two ago, something like that. But that was absolutely smashed up, and I think they were asking for like £10 or £11 for it, something like that. So for a £5, really happy with this. And like I say, in the sort of inserts, the disc, absolutely immaculate condition. So I think for a £5, that again is a bit of a steal. Was really happy with it. I was just really surprised to see it just for £5, to be honest. The seller was selling a couple of other sort of Xbox One games, nothing that I hadn't got particularly, but yeah, that one for a £5, I wasn't letting that go. Steelbook especially, Batman especially, and yeah, Arkham Knight, what a game, what a game. I've played it on the PlayStation 4, absolutely loved it. So yeah, really happy with that one. Right, the next 4 games, yeah, 4 games were all from the same seller, and this was the sort of vendor or seller who was selling, you know, just purely selling games. And actually the enemy front came from this guy as well. So yeah, they were the only people there selling purely games, but all of the games were, I thought, you know, fairly reasonably priced, and the same could be said about these as well. So the first one I picked up, and this one I have paid a little bit more than what CEX price is. Only, I think, so I paid £5 for it. I think it's a £4 game in CEX at the moment. And I purely got it because I'd never seen it before. I am a bit of a sucker for that. If I've never seen a game before, or never even heard of a game before, I do like to sort of, curiosity gets the better of me, and I just think I'll grab that. So it's Casper Spirit Dimensions on the PlayStation 2. Again, absolutely immaculate condition. And what else drew me to picking up this was the fact that on the back there is an old label from my good friend Lee's Games, based in Morecambe. Now I'm assuming it is the same Lee's Games. There can't be that many Lee's Games in the UK. But yeah, an old school sticker there from Lee's Games. I don't know if Andy's watching this video or if he has been watching. But yeah, is that one of your old stickers? Because I've got one of your old games there. And I'm going to break one of my rules. I usually peel those kind of stickers off all of my games, but that one, I think I will leave that one on. Partly because it's on the actual sleeve itself. But yeah, £5 paid for that. I think it is a £4 game. I have no idea what this game's like. Probably awful. But I like the cover. I like the cover on it. And again, inside, disc and manual, absolutely immaculate condition. So yeah, quite happy with that. And I'll probably give it a look. It looks okay. Like a sort of 3D platformer type spook 'em up kind of game, I guess. But yeah, Casper Spirit Dimensions, like I said, don't see that around that often. And another one I picked up from the same guys, and I was surprised they were selling it for this price actually. Taz Unwanted on the Nintendo GameCube, and I paid £3 for that. I think this is a £10 game in CEX at the moment. I mean, any GameCube game for £3, I was thinking, let's grab it. Because it's not often I get to add games to the GameCube collection that I've got, which isn't massive. But yeah, I just saw this for £3 and I thought, I'm having that. I'm sure it's going to be more than that in CEX, and I was right. I'm sure it's about £10 in CEX. So yeah, Taz Unwanted. Weirdly, I just recently picked up Tasmania on the Sega Mega Drive as well, so a second Tasmanian Devil game into the collection. But again, absolutely immaculate condition. Really good condition. I've checked the disc, it's fine. Shame about the old game pre-owned stickers on the manual, and also the stickers, the pre-owned stickers are actually on the sleeve on that as well, but I'm an old hand at that now. I can get rid of that, no problems. So yeah, GameCube game for £3, Taz Wanted. They also were selling quite a few cartridge only games, and they actually had quite a lot of like NTSC Super Nintendo cartridges, some really good games in there as well, and again really sort of fair prices. They also had some Japanese SNES cartridges as well, and there was one or two of them, and I was looking at them and thinking, do you know what, it's almost tempting. I'm sure they were like asking £5 for them. I know they're only cartridges, but there was stuff like World Heroes and Street Fighter 2, and what was the other one? There was another one which is a side-scrolling beat-up, and I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, they were like £5 each, and I was thinking, you know what, if I could pick up a cheap converter, I'd be tempted, but I did leave them in the end. But some of them, you know, for people in the know, for people who are collecting, they're absolute bargains they were. They had some Game Boy cartridges as well, and Game Boy is something I've been wanting to collect a little bit more of this year, and have so far failed miserably. But I picked up 2 cartridge only games. First one I got was F1 Race, which, yep, I don't have that one. F1 Race, really good racing game for the Game Boy, this one. Moves at a fair pace as well, and it used to have like the, is it 4-player? Was it 4-player? I think it was 4-player multi-tap came with it as well. But yeah, really good racing game, that one. I also picked up WWF Raw on the Game Boy. Yeah. We'll see what that one's like. Not expecting too much. But for those 2, I paid £5 for both, so £2.50 each. And again, I'm thinking, I don't know how much these are in CEX at the moment, particularly. Probably not that expensive, but you know, at the gaming market, Bolton gaming market, you can imagine these 2 were probably going for £5, £8, £10 maybe even for something like that. You know, WWF. They'd probably be asking £8 for it, and I've got these 2 for £2.50 each. So yeah, happy with those 2 as well. F1 Race is a really good game with the Game Boy. Good one, that one. So yeah, I was really happy with that lot from the sort of dedicated game sellers there. And then the final 2 games, I think, were the pick of the bunch. So this guy was mainly selling toys. He had a few boxed consoles on his table as well. I think he had a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 3, and it might have been another PlayStation 1 actually. There was a couple of PlayStation 3 games, and then there was a pile of PlayStation 1 games. So I was sifting through them, having a quick look. There was a copy of Crash Bandicoot on the top of it as well, and he just looked over and just mentioned that he'd only picked up these games the night before, I think he'd said. And he said that some of them were just boxes only and they didn't have the discs with them, which was a bit of a shame, and Crash Bandicoot was one of those that didn't have the disc. And he said he just wanted £3 for each. So I was looking through and immediately spotted these 2 games and was praying that the discs were with them, and they were. So I picked these 2 out, and like I said, he sort of said £3 each for them, but for the 2 games he said, oh, just give us a £5 for them. So I've paid £2.50 for both of these games, and on CEX they go for, I mean, these are in, I would class these as mint. These are mint condition games, really. I know they're not sealed or anything, but the boxes are in absolutely immaculate condition, not a crack on them. Complete. The instruction booklets are in great condition. The discs are in great condition as well. So I would class these as you know, mint games. And in CEX, well, I'll show you the prices in a bit. But yeah, the first one was Oddworld Abe's Exodus on PlayStation. And like I said, absolutely immaculate condition once I get that label off. That's from Power Play Games in Birkenhead. That's going back a bit, that, I think. Telephone 6... I won't get the telephone number out. I'm sure it won't be working anymore anyway. But yeah, Oddworld Abe's Exodus. Absolutely immaculate condition. So we've got 2 discs, not a scratch on them, and one very clean looking instruction booklet. I think, is it this one? I think this is in mint condition. I can't remember. I will put it here, but I know it was a really sort of decent price. Is it £18, something like that? I think it might even have been more than that. So yeah, really happy with that one. Never played this one, Oddworld Abe's Exodus. I think this was the second Oddworld game on PlayStation after Abe's Exodus. Abe's Exodus, I think it was. So yeah, no, this is Exodus. So Odyssey. It was Abe's Odyssey was the first one. Quite an early release, I think, of the PlayStation. So yeah, absolutely immaculate condition. £2.50 paid for that. And then the second one is San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing. Again on PlayStation. Again, absolutely immaculate. The boxes are brilliant. Let's open it up. Really big chunky manual on that. Looks like it's never been used or looked at. Absolutely mint condition. And again, the disc just absolutely perfect, not a scratch on it. So I think this one, mint condition, I'm sure that is a £30 game. I think that's the £30 game. And yeah, £2.50 paid for that. And I think the San Francisco Rush games on Dreamcast, I think there's an N64 version as well. I think they go for pretty decent money too. So yeah, really happy to be able to get this for the PlayStation at that price and be able to give it a go, because I think it's a pretty decent racer as well from what I hear. So yeah, those two for a fiver, £2.50 each. I think they were definitely the pick of the bunch for what I picked up today. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bunch in terms of what I've actually picked up in the games and what quality they are. I mean, Taz Unwanted and Casper are, not great games possibly, but for the prices I paid for them, I'm quite happy with them. But those 2 Game Boy games, the PlayStation 1 games, just unreal price to pay for those in that condition. And that Batman Steelbook is absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, really happy to finally pick up Enemy Front as well. So yeah, I was really impressed with the toy and train fair. It was really good. Just really well run, again, just like the Bolton gaming market, but yeah, really well run. It seemed to be a really nice atmosphere in there as well. Really busy. It was really busy. It was very warm in there again. But yeah, really enjoyed going to it. It was a pleasant surprise, really. And I might look out to go to the next one as well. I may have just got completely lucky today, and sort of possibly beaten people to the punch. I don't know. I mean, I got there about 10:30. I think the general public were allowed in at 10:30. Early bird tickets could go in from 8:30. So there was a good 2 hours before I even got there, and probably an hour before, certainly like another hour before I found those. So they weren't flying off the tables or anything like that. And maybe it's just the fact that people weren't focused on looking for games. That's the difference, I guess, from the gaming market, where everybody's there to buy games. The vast majority of people who were there today were looking for trains and toys and other stuff. Games weren't on the agenda particularly for, I would say, the vast majority of people, possibly even only me. I don't know. But yeah, just it was a bit of an eye-opener. It was nice to have a quick chat with the guys from Manic Miner Toys as well, who have their own YouTube channel as well. So I will put a link in the description to their channel. I also talked to, and I should have checked this before, is it Grimble's Collectibles, Grimble's Comics? I can't remember, I'm sorry. But he's a local lad. We had a good chat as well, because he lives around this area. He's on Instagram, so he recognised me from Instagram, and I think from YouTube a little bit. But yeah, we had a good chat. So yeah, I'll put a link to Grimble's Comics, I think it was, or Grimble's Collectibles. I'm sorry, I can't remember what you said it was, but I know I've seen your stuff on Instagram. But yeah, I'll put a link to them in the description. So yeah, bit of an eye-opener. Really happy with those pickups. My budget's not happy with it because I wasn't expecting to, to be spending any more money this month. But hey, what can you do? If the opportunity arises, you got to go for it. Otherwise, you just regret it, don't you? So, hope you enjoyed that video. As always, do you think any of those were good buys? Are they bad buys? I think they're good buys, but you know, let me know in the comments. I will always try to reply. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.